Yo, what's up? Star Zero. Today, in this review, we're going to be talking about Attack on Titan, the hot topic that just aired yesterday or whatnot. I think it aired yesterday, but I just managed to get and watch it today. Wild episode. A lot happened. Action packed. Love a bit of action packed. We deserved it since we've been waiting for damn ages. Been watching this since like we were youngers, basically, like years ago, innit? So yeah, I just want to talk about my collective thoughts and opinions throughout this whole anime. Whole anime? No, just this episode. And then what I got to say. So over here, I got scenes and like screenshots of clips and screenshots of like the anime, and then yeah, let's just talk about. Let's jump straight right into it because we've got a lot to go through. A lot to go through today. So yeah, from the jump, first thing that happens in this, like the whole rumbling, we just get like that picture of like a poor, like a little clip of like that poor boy who had like no hands saving up for money and how he, yeah, him. And then his whole thing, like he was saving up money, got beat up in the alleyway for robbery because he was trying to save money so he don't get cold in the winter, stuff like that. Man gets crushed. Like they're like, and Eren saves him as well. Gets crushed. Like obviously they were gonna bring a stop story into this to like make the rumbling seem more hellish and stuff, but it was more the way by which like they depicted the rumbling, which I thought they did perfectly and they encapsulated the whole thing. Like there was a lot of like, for example, they just made sure the rumbling looked like hell, kind of from the perspective of like, say you're a civilian spectating through it. They gave a lot of imagery, so like made the Titans look huge. Destruction was crazy, even like the fires, the blazes, and I knew they were serious from like this screen grab that I just got here, like how like the way they just crushed it, and then also like a couple frames later, you'll see like they squished it, like the body, and you just see the remnants of his skull and like remains and stuff on the ground. I was like, bro, finally we get some gore in it, like a good amount of gore in it. It's a mature anime. It's the maturity theme like really high. So I thought that was like a really good thing. But yeah, so that was the first thing I thought like, oh, so now we're serious. We're in the driver's seat when it comes to this. But yeah. This what I mean, like this is another screenshot grab that I got, which just showed like the depiction. Like this looks hellish. You don't want to be here. Like they depicted that really well. That this was a sinful act of like mass murder. But yeah, and then oh yeah, this let's get on to the next part. Obviously, it's a quick jump, like segue. Let's go. This part when he says don't let go, I just found this funny. Like oh, she was like, oh, you're trying to raise me up a bit, basically, ha ha ha. And then he was like, nah, sit back down, don't go. Like after like he basically almost fumbled, I just found that part a little bit gigglish. So yeah, I just included it. But yeah, man's like, oh, I'm a monster too, da da da. Like I understand, but yeah. Segueing on to the next part. Okay, this part where he's like, Commander Margaret. This is what's this kid's name? I forgot the kid's name. Like it's so important. But then he'll go like, Commander Margaret, my family, Liberan, all of them. He's like complaining about the rumbling. And this had me thinking at this moment, like, this is what like would have happened otherwise, been happening to like Paradise Island for ages. Like they've been getting crumpled. That just you lot have been sending Titans one by one, stepping on them. That's Eren been like, yo, my mum. He watched his mum get smacked. Like they've been experiencing that throughout life. But now it's oh your time to come, and then yeah, but yeah, it's just crazy how like this would have been the other side. This has been happening for them, and now like he's complaining. It's kind of like I'm not complaining at the fact that he's complaining is more just like the big brainery of it. But yeah, okay. Now let's talk about Levi. Don't go and start sounding like him. Levi, by the way, the fact that he's still alive, like we knew he's still alive, like through the teasers and whatnot. Let me just skip forward, bro. He's just a goat. We know this already. We know what he's been through. Blah blah blah. But it's just crazy, and especially with this line here, why I got this screenshot, especially was like the fact that I was like, "Yo, they're throwing back to when like back to like Owen in the previous squad. The logo sounded like him. This was a reference to Owen, and I love Owen Smith, bro. I love this character so much. Like it's just crazy. Like it was just fun not seeing it was fun just seeing him in it. But yeah, like it reminisce about like old times and whatnot. But yeah, this goat man. The next part, Hanji. Could we just talk about how like she was like, bro, she's been such a character like throughout this whole show. Obviously, she's not like a lead per se in any way, shape, or form, but she's always been there, kind of like the yay jolly, like oh take the next thing in line. And then since like Owen passed, like she's been taken in like going into like commanding and stuff. And then also her enthusiasm, like her bubbling. Remember in the early seasons, like you see her, and then she was doing like research and stuff. Like you always hear like her enthusiasm within her research and stuff. And then comes this section where they're like, "Oh, I'm the one who's led this far. I'm gonna go sacrifice myself." Like this had me like thinking as well. Like she's not gonna be able to like have fun with like not have fun with her research, but like finish the rest of her research that she's been doing. Like she only ever got to like like barely inspect like Aaron's tie-in, for example. She found out a little more about them. She researched obviously to help with these thunder spears, and then what's it called? Like research basic tie-ins, like remember she had like two Titan pets in tents and stuff that they got assassinated overnight. But yeah, and then she's not gonna get to like take a closer look at like colossal titan, examine their bodies, blah blah blah, their biology and whatnot. Like she had dreams, bro, like dreams that she wanted to go through, and then now she's like, oh, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna do this. Like she's been such a character. It's actually crazy. But yeah, let's get on to the next one because there's more to talk about. This moment here, crazy as well. I hereby designate you the 15th commander of the scout regiments. Mad. Like, imagine this. Obviously, like, we all knew that, what's it called? Armin was gonna get it. Because out of all the others, I wouldn't trust them as commander. Ain't none of them said they need to kill myself. Neither would Armin. Well and truly, nah, me personally, nah, I wouldn't let Armin do that. Like, that's just nah. But then I was just thinking, like, yo, that was Owen's role, like, and to pass this mantle on, like, he's not even ready for it, like, not even ready for it. But it's just one of them ones, like, that's how it would work in war. It's just like our previous one is gone. We need a commander now. You're the best suited. Like, strap on. That's how it goes. We need a commander. But yeah, I was just like, yo, Owen was the previous commander, and this part just struck a chord. It's just anything Owen. I loved Owen, man. He was just such a good character. But yeah. This part when you're sending her off, Shinzo Sasageo, we all know the saying, is just another like chord struck, and especially for Levi. But like for Levi, bro, he is sending off his friend, his buddy, his comrade that he was with. She's the last surviving member of that regiment, like of that squad. Remember when he came into the squad, he had his two like underworld friends or what it's called, and he brought them along with. Like he had them, and then they died, and then that's when you get the spinning berserk, Levi going berserk, and then Owen and Hanji, the kind of like fostered him. They became like his regiment squad, and then Owen dies, like, and most of his like squad dies within what's it called, the Beast Titan scrap, which he lives through, and now he's sending off Hanji. Do you know the mental torment within this man? Like, in this man's brain to be like, give it your heart, bro. He had to say kind words when she was leaving. Like, he had to. It's just like, it's a heavy send off that I thought that happened in this. But yeah, sorry about that. And then this part as well, so long, Hanji. Like, what can we say? Like, it's just a moment of silence. This was just him, it's sinking in, like I said before. Like, the fact that it's a whole regiment dies and he's the last one standing. Like, the people he started with are all gone. This is who he has left. It's just crazy the burden that he carries on a daily, but yeah. And to send off the last one like that, nuts. And then Yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to say another point about Levi. Is also part of the idea that he's just so good at his job in the sense like he's the best in the field at war, and was one of them ones where like only the most skilled 9 times out of 10 would survive. And he was just like, for example, when Owen Smith's death, he was like, "Yo, Owen, you need to be the distraction, and I'm going to kill, so I'm going to be the one living." So yeah, but yeah, this part as well, Hanji, you fulfill your role. Then we get to see all of the like people like it's just so good these throwback moments to bring it in, like bring everything home. Feels nice and cuddly. Like for example, we get to see Erwin Smith. They brought his voice actor back. Hanji, you fulfilled your role. Like that's so legendary. And then this year I barely remember. This year was the guy that first had when Zeke was we first saw Zeke the Beast Titan, and then he's the one that saw him speak English, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not having that. Kill him off." That's Sasha in the background as well. This head girl here, and then that's the training commander from like that they have. Oh snap! That they had from day one, like the one that got Sasha in trouble, and the one that trained him to do ODM. Yeah, that's him. Like it's such a good, nice throwback to see. But yeah, oh yeah, this part that I want to talk about. Even if we save what remains of humanity, I just want to add this scene because I wanted to talk about Reiner's role, like, and how, in this airship in particular, and the mental like load that this youth's big like he's carrying, if that makes sense. Like, basically, all of them, man, morality are on the floor, and it's just like they're kind of sane, knowing that Reiner's done the worst, so he can never live through his sins. Does that make sense? And that the fact that he's mentally tormented, and then the fact that he's carrying the mental burden of the worst type beat is kind of relieving the rest of the team. Does that make sense? Like imagine Rhino wasn't on the ship. Each of them would be arguing about how, oh, I'm the most like tormented person. How are we supposed to get through this? This is hell. But no, Rhino's there because you can just pass blame and be like, yo, he has more sins. I'm done. Does that make sense? But yeah, I just wanted to put a point out there. That was like a unique thought that I might have. But yeah. And then this part when they were like, remember they just at this point they just had the speech with Eren, like when he teleported them or whatnot, be like, yeah, that's useless, but I'm not here to chat, I'm just here to fight. But yeah, and then this is the part where Levi says Commander to him. Bro, like when the like task was to kill him. Oh yeah, he's gonna transform into Beast Titan and then explode. And then obviously like 9 times out of 10 he's not gonna make it back. And then Levi was just like, Commander, in the sense, are you ready to do this? This is a fight for humanity. This is the Scout Regiment type thing. But yeah, this was just insane. Had him in shock. That was his facial expression, knowing that yeah, that's your time to die type thing. But yeah, oh yeah, this part. Okay, this part. Not that it flew under the radar, but it was a massive hit. And like, yo, like it was the war chief, not war chief, but whoever like the guy in the megaphone was talking about how this is the consequence of us being hatred. Like the burden lies with all us adults, and how they were racist or like however you'd call it, like discriminatory towards like people on Paradise and calling them island devils. And then he was talking about how the rumbling was a consequence of all that hatred coming towards us, and the responsibility lies on us all adults. So it's kind of like, oh, them realizing their mistake for the like segregation, not segregation, like the discrimination that they had against them. But then I was just there like, yo, you man deserve this. Like, this is the consequence of your own segregation. It's a bit too late. So Eren's all right with him to come and do this rumbling. Does that make sense? But yeah, this was like a really good point that I thought was like kind of not eye opening, but like remembering that you man need to take responsibility for this per se. But yeah, this scene now, I had a thought to say like, not that Reiner's mom's really much that important, but I thought it was like a really eye opening in the sense that she ended up realizing that yo, she just fueled like I'm guessing like she had internalized discrimination towards the island, like the people on Paradise. So she just used her like Reiner basically as a tool for revenge. Kept like made sure he went into the army. He was the soldier. He was the one that did this, this, and this. And she only used him as like a scapegoat to be like, yeah, my guy's battling for us per se. But then she realizes here that he's basically a tool for racism, and then this is like racism, like discrimination, and it's coming back to like bite. And then this is all that kind of breaking down about it. But yeah. And oh yeah, this is when he smoked all the airships. Like I don't know what they were thinking, but I guess humanity's gonna go throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Hopefully that works. It's the best they had, like as airships and fuel barrels. But yeah, it just got rinsed. But again, with the depiction, every time they show Eren and the like founding titan, like it's always like a hellish. My lights are red, by the way, because I want to emulate the hell, but just to keep in theme, like. But yeah. But yeah, to keep up the hell image that's going on collectively. And I think, yeah, this is the last frame we get basically. In what way are you free? This was Armin talking to Eren while standing on top of him, saying, yo, if we take you out of there and like, if you take you, basically take you out of the Beast Titan, like the Family Titan, and take you hostage right now, like, in what way are you free? I thought of like Eren's response, not Eren's response, but then like thought process would be similar to you see when Ryan was talking on the airship about how um as like someone who commits mass murder per se, you're like there's no way out of it but being killed because you're gonna keep going forward. No one's gonna tell you no. So like you're already set foot on your way to your goal per se. So for example, Eren's not gonna stop the rumbling on his own to like on his own accord because like kind of he's already gone too far, like beyond the point of reason. And now it's just a like a descent of madness. It's just a cycle of insanity that kind of he just needs to be emmed off. And then in terms to bring it back to this quote, I was just like, in what way are you free? I was thinking more in the sense of like free of this responsibility that you have to carry out this rumbling. Does that make sense? And death will kind of be if they did capture him or kill him and left him powerless, that is technically freedom for him because freedom of that responsibility, and now it's just let the system deal with me type beat. Does that make sense? And like, obviously, for everyone else who hates towards him, like you feel like he needs to be killed, executed in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that was my. But yeah, that was my interpretation. In what way are you free? Like, I thought that was like, yeah, I thought it was eye opening. A lot of these moments, just wrapping things up. A lot of these moments, I thought like this, like no eye opening in a way. Like it really, like I think it was really well done. Like I'm really glad they like added 2 episodes to this like special, like for a comeback. And then yeah, I really liked it. It just felt like an experience per se that just needed to be watched. Like as I was like obviously it's the next episode, but like it's not a miss out. Like you need to watch this. Like it's a really good condensed story type beat, and I'm really happy. I don't know. It's just like it's thought provoking. It's one of them thought provoking animes that really need to be like watched or something. But yeah, I don't know. It has me in all kind of like shock. But yeah, but that's it. That's my thoughts and feelings. If I were to have to rate this movie, I'd rate it. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. Only because I don't have any criticisms of the movie per se. I can't think of any way they could have made it better. But then I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10 because it's not leaving me out my seat wowed per se. But at the same time, I can't give a reason as to why I deducted 1. Well, I guess that was a reason, but does it make sense? It's not amazing like a world beater, but it's not like a perfect 10 where oh this is an absolute masterpiece. But it did exactly what it needed to do with the elements that it did do. Does that make sense? So yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, thank you for watching and listening to my review. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and then that way I'll read through the comments if you have any comments. And then tell me what you think, like with each of the plot points that, like even in the screenshots, if you just write the quote and then what you think of, like say in the screenshot I used, in what way are you free? and then just write a comment next to it, then I know you're referring to this part. But yeah, and then we can have a discussion there and see what you think. And there, if you enjoyed, just like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. I'm enjoying reviewing anime so far. I'm gonna have One Piece coming soon as well, like the next part that I need to review. But yeah, this was fun. Enjoy.